Hi, I'm Danny Whelan, and I'm a musical theatre performer from London.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Everybody's Talking About Theatre. My name is Leah, and I have another guest speaking English. Hi, Danny.
Hey, everyone.
So nice to have you here, like on camera, because as I said before we started to record this thing, it's been ages since
Oh,
we
it's been
saw
so long.
each. I think it
Really
was
long, yeah.
a year ago when
Yeah.
Battle of Our closed in the Peacock, right?
Yes. Yeah, it
Oh
was nearly a
gosh.
year ago, yeah, which is
Wow,
crazy.
yeah.
So crazy.
And I saw everybody posting the arena tour was a year ago on Instagram. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? This was a year ago.
Do you know what, though? It's one of those weird things, like, I keep saying this to, like, because I've obviously made good friends from the show. In one way, it
Mm,
seems like it was only yesterday, and I can't believe it's been a year. But then actually, on the other hand, because of, like, what's happened since then, I'm like, it also seems like so long ago I was in Australia. Like, when I think about being in Australia, that seems like so long ago.
it was yesterday, but 5 years ago yesterday.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know.
Time is weird.
It really is.
Yeah. Okay, before we start with some questions and everything, I have a question for my guests. I'm asking this all the time, and it's very hard, I know, but what does theater mean to you in 3 words?
3 words. I would say fun as a word,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is one that everyone would say. I would say escapism. It's a great escape. So I think for people watching and people performing, it's them couple of hours that you can just escape from whatever's going on in real life. I'd probably say teamwork, because one of my favorite things about especially when you watch a musical or a big group production is that every person in the building is needed at every point in order to make the show happen. So like if you didn't have one
Absolutely.
person, it can't run. So I'd say that that's a really, really important word to me, teamwork, because it is working as a
Yeah.
team. Yeah, I'd say that probably be my 3 words.
I just love this because I think it was the last two shows I had an actor and someone working at the theater bar, and they both said like, "Oh, my job is important, but if the actors weren't on stage, I wouldn't like have a bar to do the drinks." And the actor was like, "Yeah, if the people at the bar were not there, I couldn't be on stage." So
Exactly, and
I love
that
that.
goes through the whole building. That goes from like lighting,
Yeah.
sound design, costume, front of house management. But yeah, it's a nice thing that for 4 hours all them people come together in their one building to make it flow and make it
Mm,
work. So yeah, that one's probably the most important word to me, I would probably say.
yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, let's start to talk a bit about your career and everything. I was wondering, how did you started to, yeah, to get into acting? Was it like
It was quite
just
a
years
strange
ago?
one. Yeah, it was quite a strange one. So I never really performed. So my mum and dad, they're singers, they're musicians, but they're like country singers, Irish country singers.
Oh,
So music's always been in my family and singing and things like that. My sister is also musical theatre performer. She's done loads. She was in Evita. She just finished Jersey Boys in the West End. So she's been
oh,
like,
cool.
yeah. So since she was like, she's been doing it since she was literally born. So since the day she was born, she always done it. So it was always kind of her thing. And there's 5 of us in my family, so I come second. So I wasn't performing, like I didn't know that I could sing yet, or I didn't really explore that side because I don't know why I didn't. I really wasn't aware of it. And see, like in London, I'm not sure if it's the same for you, but you finish school, so you've done your GCSEs, and then you've got the
Mm,
2 years in between, and you've got like college, or you stay on your sixth form before you go off to university or drama school. So I didn't actually. I was going to do teaching. I was going to do like primary school teaching, and I didn't get the grades that I
oh
needed to
yeah,
get.
I feel that.
So yeah, so I don't
Same
know
here.
what I was thinking of. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking of as if I was ever going to get the grades, but I didn't get them. So we went to go and see. I didn't get into the sixth form that I wanted to go to, so we went to go and see like a guidance education counselor, and she said if you want to go into teaching, you can maybe try doing a BTEC in either childcare, or she said you could do performing
Mm,
arts or acting. And I'd secretly always wanted to do acting, but because it was my sister's thing, I was kind of like, maybe not. And also, I didn't know that I would be able to do it. I didn't know that you can make a career of it.
yeah.
So my mum was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want you to do that. Your sister," because my sister at this point, she had done sixth form. She was going to audition for drama school. She was dealing with the rejections, everything like that. So, anyways, I ended up going and doing an acting course. So it wasn't musical theatre. And then it wasn't actually until my second year I started to love acting then, and we had to do a singing unit. So you had to sing a song.
And you smashed it.
It's actually it's the college that I teach at now, but I went to years ago, and I got up and kind of sang, and then my teacher she took my mum aside and said, well, he should audition for drama school. So then, so a bit long-winded. So then I ended up auditioning for drama school that year, and I got into Mountview Academy, which is in London, which was just like a massive shock because I just started like a year before, so I was really lucky to get in. And then from there, then I just fell in love with musical theatre. So I trained there for 3 years, which is quite an intense course. It's a really, really, really amazing course. And so it's kind of like my life was kind of going in a different direction, and then I somehow ended up doing it. But now it's so weird because I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Now I'm like, I couldn't imagine being a primary school teacher. I think I was maybe doing that because it's what like maybe my mum wanted me to do. It was a bit of a weird one, but yeah.
And you already told us you're teaching at a school now?
Yeah, so I teach so I'm like a guest tutor at, it's called Praxis Performing Arts College. It's in Hayes. So I went there before I went to drama school. So it's like a 16 to 19 actually. It's like they do a BTEC course and a level 4 course. It's amazing performing arts training. Yeah, it's so cool. It's like you have the extra 1 year now that you can do to prep you for drama school. So there's just the students are so talented there. There's musical theatre, there's acting, there's everything. So music, like if you play an instrument, there's recording studios. It's like really, really creative. I think it's such an important. Obviously, the drama school you go to is really important because it's where you start to train industry, like with industry people and things like that. But I think that age group of 16 to 18 is so important before you go to a drama school because it sets you up for everything that's going to come. Firstly, when you go on to somewhere more advanced or somewhere like on a degree level, I think that's just such an important age. You can easily very much, I think, slack between 16 and 18 if you're not in the right place to set you up for the drama school kind of life. So yeah, no, I love teaching. It's like my second love, I think. when I'm not performing, I'm performing.
Yeah, and it like combines two things you love.
Exactly.
So perfect match.
Exactly.
What is like a normal day for you?
If I'm teaching it, so I teach at two places. So I teach there, and then I teach on a degree course at a place called LMA. So for LMA, for example, I work maybe like an 8 till 4. So I would get up and come in. My students just there. I finished teaching at LMA now, but they were doing their assessments. So they're doing degree assessments. So you'd run their assessment pieces with them. You'd direct their assessment pieces, and then you would assess them. But you kind of go throughout the whole term with them, and then they'll do an assessment in front of the whole school. Then the BTEC college Praxis, I kind of come in as I was teaching there full time before I started BAT actually, but now I'm like a guest tutor. So I come in and do a show with them every year. It's like an extracurricular show. So we come in and audition the whole college. Every course can audition, and then we pick like 15 to 20 people, and you do either a show, or this year we done a Christmas cabaret, but we done like a dark themed Christmas cabaret. So it was all like cabaret and Moulin Rouge and parade. And
I love that.
Musical, yeah, it was like, so we done this cool concept of that. And then, we just work on that for like 2 or 3 months, and then they performed it at Christmas. But yeah, it's hard work as well because it's obviously we're doing it in the extra hours, so you're not going in and teaching there from 9 till 4. Like, so the kids will have their full college day, and then I come in at like 5 till 8 or 5 till 9. And you're doing that for like a few weeks. But again, it's getting them in that mind frame of like when you do go to drama school, like you will start sometimes at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you will be there till 7 o'clock at night. That's kind of how it is. Like you kind of stay until, well, I don't know if it's changed now, but when I went there, like you kind of stay in the building until what needs to be done is done, because otherwise it's, it's not. Sometimes it's a great thing about performing, but also not, is that I think when you're doing other courses, you can go home and do your own work at home, which you very much can do if you're working on solos and things like that. But a lot of the stuff at drama school is group. So it's like you're doing a duet, you're doing a trio, you're doing a group dance or a group number or a group scene. So you kind of need everyone. Like what we were saying at the beginning of the teamwork thing, it's kind of like it's hard to go back, especially in training, and do all the work on your own. You need to kind of have the other people there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people who really are like struggling with life, and it's musical theater, a job I can do. How do you apply to be in a musical college or something like that?
Yeah, well, I'm quite lucky in that, like, in that sense, because of being brought up in London, there's lots of the schools are in London. I mean, having said that, lots of the people that go there aren't actually from London. It's normally filled, the year group's filled with people from all around the UK and all around the world. Yeah, it's just picking. So you've got your good choice of the schools. I would just say if you're going into making it a career, you do have to take that. I've got some friends who I train with at college, like before drama school, and they love performing and it's a hobby and they enjoy it, but it's not what they wanted to do for work, which is absolutely fine as well. Like if you want to perform for fun, like it's amazing. Like before I auditioned for drama school, like I had 3 monologues that I knew. I had a Shakespeare monologue that I knew off the back of my hand. I had singing lessons every week, even though it was quite a short time before I auditioned. I had a legit song, I had a contemporary song, I had a rep folder. I knew what I was going to watch musicals. Like it's kind of like
a lot.
It sounds like the obvious thing to do, but you just kind of. I think in order to do it, you just have to take that step in when you're at that age, 16, 17, like, do I really want to do it and how much time am I willing to put into the preparation that goes into before it? Once you're in one of these London schools, like they're all so amazing and there's so many different courses now. There's so many different courses around the UK that you can do, like that are amazing, that are producing amazing graduates. But again, I think as well, it's all what you put in at drama school as well. I think I was actually, like, if I'm being honest, I think I was too young to go to drama school because I went at 18. So I was one of the youngest in my year, and I think I was still a bit immature. Like in reflection, I feel like I could have maybe done with going like 2 years later. I was still kind of like 18 and like still just young. I was just still young. So I think it's about the preparation that you put in really, and embracing the training, because all these schools will give you good training. You can get the best training, but if you're not invested in it. But also saying that, some people go to drama school thinking that that's what they want to do, and then at their time there, they decide that they don't want to do that, and that's also okay. Like you're going to come out with a musical theatre degree from an amazing college, and there's so much more you can do with that. You don't have to be performing on stage. Like so many of my friends have become teachers, been directors, or even if you do decide at the end of the years, like you don't want to do something that doesn't make you happy. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think as well, like at drama school, I forget that a lot of people in my year group and across all year groups, they'd been doing it since. So I had people in my year that were like on the West End as kids, or that had been doing it since they were 3, whereas I'd only started it a year before I auditioned. So while I was there, I was still like, I love this, I love musical theatre. Whereas for a lot of people, like even now, I've been doing it for about 11 years, and there were still people in my year group in my first year who would have been doing it for like longer than what I've done it now. Yeah, it's just about embracing your time there, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a difficult job. Theater is hard. You don't always have a job, which you can like see everywhere. And I think sometimes people are blinded probably by social media and Instagram. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm having this theater job and I'm doing this and that, but people don't see the in-betweens where you work at Tesco or something.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Like, and this is where I think once you're out in the industry, it really does test you. Like anyone that was in my year group would know this, that like I graduated in 2016, and my first major musical I done was Bat Out of Hell, and that was in 2021.
Wow.
It was about 5 years. I'd done little bits here and there, like I done a commercial, I done little small shows. I done a show called Spelling Bee, but it was very small. It was quite low paid. It was quite a short run. But for me, I just had, because of how much I wanted to do it, I was like, I'm going to keep going. I was changing my agents. I wasn't getting auditions, so that kept me going. But also, that is another thing. Yeah, you're completely right in saying that. People don't realise that a lot of it, unless you're very lucky, a lot of it is, like finding a job between jobs, like having other creative things, like working. I've honestly at some points worked like 4 jobs: working in a restaurant by day, working in a club by night, waking up teaching kids in the morning. So and weird. It's like, it's not all glamorous at all.
It's not glamorous, absolutely. This is why I really enjoy the creative content on social media, when actors and actresses tell about like the in-betweens. I mean, Catherine Saunders, who was also in Bed with You.
Oh yes.
She did those TikToks.
Hilarious. So funny.
They are so amazing.
Funny. But so it's so good. So relatable. It's so relatable.
Yeah. Even for me, not an actors, it's absolutely relatable. And I think the other one was, is it Hannah Lothar, who's also like doing a lot of
Hannah Lowther,
Oh,
yes.
I'm swinging and I'm
Yes.
telling you all about what's when I'm not on. And you can
Yes.
see like the very not glamorous side. And I'm just so happy that these people exist and tell other people about, theater life.
And that is the thing, like everyone goes through it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some exceptions. I have some friends who've just like worked non-stop and it's just amazing. But there's probably going to be points of your career where it's not. I think I think it's one of the only career choices where you're never really going to be fully fulfilled, because I think just naturally as performers, once you get somewhere where you want, so like I want to do a UK tour, I want to play a lead role, and then you do that, I think sometimes we forget to take in, oh my god, I just done that, because then you're like, okay, what do I need to do next? So now that I've done that,
it's never enough.
It's never enough. Whereas like it sometimes, I mean, I don't work in another industry, so I can't talk for other people, but you know, like you get a promotion, you get your money rises in the promotion, and then you work your way up, and if you get to the CEO of a company, you're like, well, I've done, like, I'm the CEO, like I can't.
Yeah, you're done then.
I can't. Whereas I feel like no matter who you are, I think that's even. I think in any case, I feel like if you've got that creative side, there's just always something more you want to do, or you're kind of looking into the future to see what you could do next, which is tiring
hard
sometimes.
No, we want to talk about like all the aspects of theater and drama, so I think it's really important to talk about that too, because it's not that easy getting a job there. So this is why I wanted to talk with you about university and everything, because I was wondering, do you have to be like nearly perfect in singing and dancing to apply there? Or is it like, I can sing a bit, but I'm a really good dancer, so I'm going to apply anyway? Or
yeah, I think it's different to different schools. I mean, it changes as well by generations. I know that when I auditioned, like, I'm not a dancer at all, really. I wouldn't consider myself a dancer. Like, that was the first thing I ever done dancing in.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, wow.
I'm the worst in a dance school.
Nah.
The worst, honestly. But starting school, so like where I went to Mountview, it was like you get scored. So you get scored for your singing, and then you get scored for your dancing, and then you get scored for your acting. So I think it's kind of like measured up, if you get what I mean. Like in my year, like none of the boys were really dancers at all. They were more like singer actors. And then when my sister went, she went to arts ed. They were all quite good movers and good singers, and so different schools have like their like stamp mark, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then that's all changing as well. So that's changed again since I went there, because it used to be like Mountview used to be very heavily singing and acting, like very, very heavily. And now I think it's quite like a bit more dancey, a bit more. It kind of changes. So it's just about researching the schools that you go to. But no, I wouldn't say that drama schools want you to be perfect, because I think that there's nothing to train. I just think they want to see potential in you. And see, I think as well, like they want to see employability out of you. So they want to see, like, after 3 years, will you get work, or will you be employable, or will you? So no, I wouldn't say you have to be perfect at all, but to have something. I think, like normally you can sit down. I think on my first day, and I listened to some of the people sing. I was like, wow, this is so cool. There were people that were amazing, but I just think it's about the training. They want to see someone that they can train, because you have got 3 years.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are pretty afraid to apply because they think they are not perfect enough. So, but yeah, this is bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I started singing about 4 months before I auditioned for Mountview.
That's so cool.
So it was like, yeah, I think if you put the work in and you love it, and you research a school enough, like I would never have went and auditioned at a school like Erdang, because they're like amazing dancers, and they're like flexible when they do musical theatre as well, but it just I wouldn't have got into Erdang, so I would be like, why would I audition there? So it's about, again, going back to that thing of like researching. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do your research, guys.
Yes, do your research.
I think this is a perfect time to start a little game. Listeners of my podcast know that I'm always preparing 2 kind of games to get to know you better. And I prepared a pretty new one, and this is called the Quick Questions. These are 10 questions. You are not allowed to think too long about it. And of course, anecdotes are welcome, because we want to hear everything.
Yes.
So the first question is, what's the best thing about being an actor? Shoot.
The best thing about being an actor is being able to play people other than yourself. I think you can just turn up to the theatre even if you're having a bad day and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to be one of the lost today, or I'm going to be a soldier today, or I'm going to be a 5-year-old child today. So yeah, I'd say the best thing about being an actor is just being able to play different people all the time.
Do you prefer playing the bad ones or the good ones? It's not a question in the game, but I was just wondering.
I actually prefer villains, to be honest. I've never got to play a villain really, but I prefer villains. I think villains are so much more interesting to play.
Yeah, you could predict that Strat is kind of a villain in some way.
True. That's true. Yeah, I suppose
like an
kind
anti-hero.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
The next question is about Bat Out of Hell. What do you prefer, playing Ledoux or Strat in Bat Out of Hell?
Oh, that's such a hard one.
Yeah, don't think too long about it.
I would say, because Ledoux was my track, I preferred playing Ledoux because he was like so close to the heart. I really loved him, but I got to do Strat a lot less. So when I would go on a Strat, it would be much more exciting because he's like on for the whole show, and I only actually got to do it like a bunch of times throughout the whole 2 years. But Ledoux, I love Ledoux. I loved playing Ledoux.
And you did so amazing. Oh,
thank you so
every
much.
time I think about Bat Out of Hell, I'm like, oh, I'm so sad that the cast is gone.
I know, it's sad, isn't it?
Okay, the next one is arena tour or playing in the West End. Hard question.
That's really hard. I'm stuck because West End is great because the best thing about the West End was I'm from London, so everyone could come and see you. But then the arena tour was like thousands of people.
Crazy.
I'm gonna go with West End.
Yeah, I can feel that. Ledoux was your West End debut, right?
Yeah, it was the first time I'd ever played in the West End, so it was so amazing. And I think again, being from London, it is one of those things like even when I had my Strat shows in London, you could invite like all my students, all my people I've worked with, all my teachers, everything. So that's probably why. Although the arena tour was amazing as well, so I can't fault that.
Was
like,
insane.
Australia was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with West End for that one.
And not a question in the game, but it's like it's always welcome to share some anecdotes and another questions. In the arena tour, you didn't have like a motorcycle or really a set decoration at all, right?
no, it was so bare. We had like 2 screens, kind of similar to like just big screens, and then they were just kind of like steel decking. Yeah, it was really odd. So we had to re-rehearse. What was weird is we opened the second contract and we done Swansea and Dusseldorf, and then we rehearsed in Plymouth and we done the other version of the show. We all had handheld mics as well. Yeah. So for like the dances, we were like literally like switching hands with the mic. It was crazy. And then, we done that for like a month, and then we came back to the Peacock, and then we re-rehearsed another version of the show.
Absolutely.
It changed again. So by the time we got to the Peacock, I was like, we've done so many versions of the show now. It's just. Yeah, it was a bit crazy, but it was very bare. It was very, very, very bare in Australia.
Yeah, I just saw it in. I think it was a vlog from Amara, and Kelly and Glenn shared in Reel or something, and I was like, "Where is all this stuff on stage?" I just think of all the people who don't know the show, and they're sitting like, "Okay, what are they doing right now?"
Yeah.
Isn't that confusing?
Like, what's going on? Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely. We didn't even have a tunnel. We didn't even have like a tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like a steel decking.
It just appeared in the darkness. Next question. What's the first thing you do in the morning when you have to play a show?
If I'm singing in the show, so for Bat, for example, I'm always making the most noise. Like my friends always take the piss out of me because I'm doing some sort of crazy warm up. But I just I just warm my voice up. I also like to go to the gym before I do a show. So I like to go on like a run or do some weight training, and like I like to sweat before I do a show. I don't know why. It gets me kind of in the zone. It makes my body feel warm and my voice feel warm.
Yeah, I mean, then you're better prepared.
Yeah.
The show shouldn't be your limit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's the last thing you do on a show evening?
Like in the theatre, or the last thing I do before I sleep?
Do both. Why not?
In the theatre, I will normally go and get myself like a little snack, and then I'll probably just scroll on my phone. I think after the theatre, I normally need some like me time, so I'll just sit by myself and like I don't know, go on like TikTok or Instagram and just like have my headphones in
Can
and just
relate.
have a little scroll. Sometimes you need a bit of like downtime after the theatre.
Indeed. Okay, heading to the next question. What's the weirdest thing that happened to you during Bad Out of Hell tour?
The weirdest thing.
I just heard so many weird stories from everyone, so it was like I
So
lost.
something that was really weird, which a lot of people don't actually know, it wasn't really like a certain situation, but we basically like in the first contract, we realised because we were in COVID, we got to Birmingham and we were like we were doing cover runs, but we only had first and second covers, but like everyone was really sick, like really, really sick. And I was doing my Strat cover run, one of my first ones. No, I think I'd done it a couple of times before, but like obviously the producers and people come to watch you. But everyone in the building was kind of like everyone's really sick. And also there's COVID. So like if someone's off with COVID, they're off with COVID. So they wanted to put in third covers. So
Oh, wow.
the director at the time just came to me and was like, how do you feel about third cover in Tink? The part of Tink? So I was like, I mean, yeah, if it's gonna save the show, yeah, but so I would like not do Ledoux but do Tink and then do Ledoux. So I was like, fine. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, sure, let's. I mean, if it's gonna save the show, so I done it, and then I done like a cover on like as Tig. It was just like the weird because I'd done.
I want to see that.
And I done Strat. Like we'd be in numbers like the beat is your. What is that song? You can run away forever.
Yeah, the beat is yours.
The beat is yours forever. Yeah. No, Rock and Roll Dream. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Rock and Roll Dreams. Oh my gosh, this is so funny because I had this moment just yesterday when I was editing my novel, and yeah, I don't know if you know that, but my new novel is dedicated to the Bat Crew.
Oh my god, that's
yeah,
amazing.
I already told that. Yeah, Rob and Sharon, and yeah, you will get a copy too.
Oh my god, yes, please.
But I was like quoting Rock and Roll Dreams, and I was like, what's the song
What
called?
is that song called?
And then oh yeah, of course.
It was always the funniest song as well because it was just like we were just like on stage. It was just always a really funny number to me. But anyways, when I done it as Tink, I was like lay on the floor as Tink, like looking at like I can't remember who was playing Ledoux and who was playing the Strat. I think like Luke Street and Snabbit. And I was just like, what is going on? And we were all on for different covers. So like then there was like it was so funny. It was just like so yeah, that was probably the strangest thing. And I've got a video somewhere of like me singing. I'm not allowed to love you.
Share that! I want to see this.
I don't know where it is. I've got it somewhere. It's just like the most out of place thing ever. It's like it was just the weirdest casting choice ever. But I think obviously it was desperate times, so we just needed someone to jump in. But yeah, so that was probably the weirdest thing.
Oh, that's a good story. I love this. Thanks for sharing. The next one might be a bit easier: dancing or singing.
Singing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, you already told us. The next one is recording self-tapes or going to an audition in person.
This, again, is a hard one because recording self-tapes is good because you can keep redoing. But I'm going to go with auditioning in person because I feel like you can't get the impression of a person from their self-tape. But you can, but like not as well as when you're in the room. And also, you can turn off a self-tape. I feel like someone could watch a self-tape for 10 seconds and go, oh, turn it off. Whereas if someone's in front of you, they might take them 30 seconds to get in before you're paying attention. So I'm going to say in person.
Yeah, they have to like take a look and endure.
Exactly.
Singing at a concert, because I saw you were like doing this meatloaf nights. Oh, candlelight. Yeah, the candlelight thing. Or doing a theater show.
I'm going to say doing a theatre show, but I love doing concerts. I think what's good with the concerts by Candlelight is they're amazing. They're such an amazing team. And it's kind of like half between a concert and a show because it's like a set show. So it's like the show runs in the same way. And the talent is just so amazing. They've got so many people that from that, with Simon Gordon, who set it up, I believe, and Daniel Wood. They're an amazing company. But I think theatre show, because I like to do like the 4-week rehearsal. I like to get in the costumes and get the characters and do the dance and stuff like that. But having said that, I really enjoyed the concerts too.
I really want to go there someday if they are doing the meatloaf candlelight thing again.
they do them all year. I think they're doing them now. I finished doing them, but they do Queen. We done Queen, Fleetwood Mac, and Meatloaf. They're awesome. One of my friends as well, Ben Perkis. I'm not sure if you know Ben Perkis. He was in the original Backcast. He was alternate Strat in the first Backcast.
Cool.
He does them still. Yeah, they're amazing. They're just so amazing. The vocals are like insane. You should check it out, definitely.
I will, hopefully. And the last one is favorite song to sing in Bad Out of Hell.
Favorite song.
The Beat Is Yours Forever, which is Record My Dreams.
Yeah, whatever that one's called. I'm gonna say For Crying Out Loud is my favourite Meatloaf song ever, and I loved singing that when I was on the Strat. But Objects, I love singing Objects as well. So I'm just like, them two are so hard to choose from. But do I have to choose one?
Nah, you don't have to choose one.
Can I have them too?
But you can tell us who was your partner singing Raven when you've been Strat?
So I done it with quite a few Ravens actually. So my first ever Raven in my cover run was one of my best friends, Rebecca Lafferty.
She's so sweet.
She's so sweet. She's one of my closest friends. But so I was second cover Strat, she was second cover Raven. So we just had some funny times. We basically done a cover run together for the first time. And we were both so ill, like we were so unwell. It was in Oxford. We just moved from Manchester after our first venue, and we were like, our voices weren't really there, but we got through it. So I done it with Bex probably the most because I'd always do it in cover-ons with her. But when I went on, like in the show, the first time was with Kelly Nork. I done with Kelly, and then I went on with Martha Kirby twice in the first contract, and then in the second contract at the Peacock, I was on with Kelly for both shows.
Yeah.
Because Kelly was playing Raven then. I done it. I done it with Martha. Also, actually, I done it with Alex Dorr as well. I done a cover on with Alex Dorr.
Oh, yeah, true.
In Dusseldorf. I done a cover on in Dusseldorf.
I missed that one.
Well, the cover runs it weren't for public, so you're only allowed to do them in house. But yeah, so I done it. So yeah, I done it with Bex, Kelly, Martha, and Alex.
What about Katie? Have you done a show with Katie?
I never got to do with Katie. Katie's also one of my best mates. We were so sad about it because she went on in Dusseldorf.
Yeah, she was my first Raven.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. But no, we were so gutted we never got to do it together. Like so gutted. But we did sing. We sang For Crying Out Loud together at a little gig once. We done like a Kinky Cabaret. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's so amazing. Yes. I was gutted that me and Katie never got to do it together. Actually, I would have loved that. She was great. They were all great. They were all amazing.
You survived the quick questions. Wasn't that hard? So we talked a lot about Battle of Hell. What was it like to finish that and go on with a classic like Miss Saigon?
It was great. It was like, because see, when I left drama school, I'd never really done pop rock singing. That wasn't really my thing at school. So I normally done legit musical theatre. So Miss Saigon was always actually a show that I wanted to do. Like, if you said to me Bat Out of Hell when I was in my third year, I would have been like, that. I won't be in that show. Like, I'm not a rock singer. I can't really sing that. I only found that side of my voice in later years. So Miss Saigon was really great because it's actually a show that I knew completely, and it was like a Les Mis and Miss Saigon were like my favourite shows ever. So it was very different. It was also a lot more chilled for me because I was playing one of the soldiers, so they're in it they're not in it too much, if you get what I mean. They're making up the ensemble, and they're obviously a really important part of the show, but it wasn't as like, that was literally like sometimes like I would come off like after the first two numbers and be like, oh my god, like it's just a lot, like it's just tough. So much. Whereas I think in Miss Saigon I got to kind of chill back a bit, and the cast was so amazing for Miss Saigon that I would just be in awe all the time. Like, I'd be sat at the sides like, these guys are amazing. But I think it was really nice to do that as well, to get a complete different style, to get something, it was a bit more serious, it's a true story. And
what was the most challenging thing about it to prepare for that role or for the show in general?
I think probably the most challenging part that the whole team probably would have, it basically was, I'm not sure if you know, but it was Miss Saigon reimagined. So they like restaged it. It was the first time it was staged in this way, and they really wanted to get the story right, because I think in the past Miss Saigon there's been loads of backlash about some of the things going on stage and things like that. So I think we had like a 6 or 7 week rehearsal process, which is actually the longest I've ever done for a show. I've never done that long. And the first 2 weeks was a lot of like sitting down and talking through things. And we've researched that time. We've researched the place. We really went into detail about getting things right and telling the story correctly instead of like fabricating things. There was loads of things done in it that was like, oh, let's make this really big and let's have people in bikinis and all this stuff that wasn't actually relevant to the time, or actually wasn't correct information. So team, who were Rob Hasty and Anthony and Chris Poom as the MD and everyone involved, they done such an amazing job at telling the truth behind the story. So I'd say that was probably the challenging thing as a company, is to try and get a different thing out of the show than has been done before, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. How do you prepare for roles in general? When you said like you haven't done a rock show, is it like, okay, now I need to listen to all the rock musicals on the world and prepare and read stories about it? I don't know. How do you prepare?
Yeah, I kind of just I just do, again, kind of like what I was saying about drama school, just doing your research. So for example, when I got Bat Out of Hell, when I got Bat Out of Hell, I found like I'd never seen it, even though my friends had been in it. I'd never actually gone to watch it before. So I remember seeing the videos and being like, what is going on? And I watched the Dominion one, and they were like, there's so many people on stage and like big car and the big swimming pool, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then I was watching because then I knew I was playing Ledoux. So, but then I was watching and I kept seeing Giovanni Spano. He's like amazing talented. And he's big, like muscly guy, and I was like, surely that's not the part that I've been cast. Like, I don't look like that at all. Like, so watched that, and then I watched videos of Andrew Pollock as Stran. He was awesome, amazing. So
yeah,
I was like,
he's smashing.
I was kind of trying to get like the vibe of that show. It was quite crazy and eccentric and out there, and kind of bringing your own kind of thing to it. Miss Saigon, for example, I knew the show, so when I got the show, like I know the show so well, so that was more about waiting until our rehearsal process.
Yeah.
But I always like to learn. I always like to know stuff turning up to rehearsal. So if I'm covering or if I've got a part, then I like to know at least the lyrics to my songs, so that I feel prepared. And I like to learn the lines as well. Some people like to learn lines before they start rehearsals. Some people also don't like to, because when you get into rehearsals, sometimes when you know the lines, you set them in a certain pattern in your head.
Oh, so yeah, true.
It's but it's just my worst fear of like forgetting. Like I always have this thing about it, and then I always go on stage and say the wrong lines, or say like I'll like work myself up about it. And I'm like, so yeah, I'd probably say that.
Did that happen to you, like in
Lines,
Battle of Hell or something?
Yes, it happened to me. It happened to me.
Yeah?
It happened to me a couple of times in Battle of Hell. Yeah, where I was just like, I think it was, can't remember what time it was. I went on a strat, and it was just like, I think when I was covering, because I was second cover, it was such a hard thing, because like you could do a cover run in like February, and then it would go like March, April, May, and then like on like May the 28th, like you just get a call from your company manager at 5 o'clock, like you're on a strat today. And you just be like, oh, okay, right. So
fuck.
Yeah, and it was just like the part. So like,
what are the words?
There's so much physical cues of like rapping the mic and jumping, that like sometimes it would just get like, and like something came out of my mouth one day in the song Battle of Hell, and I can't remember what it was. The song that goes into it, Making Love. What always used to happen to me is I'd go on for Making Love, not realizing that I wasn't coming off stage until the end. So somewhere at the end of Making Love, you'd be like, and I'd be like in my head like, shit, this goes straight into Battle of Hell. You'd be like, it was such a beast of a song. But,
yeah, it absolutely is. I have a lot of respect for everyone doing this, because even though I'm a massive Meatloaf fan and Battle of Hell fan, I still can't like doing Battle of Hell just from the words that are in my head. I would like to see the text to sing that.
And I think it was the thing of like, okay, but while you're singing that, you also need to be kneeling at the bike, but then your head has to turn to Raven this way, and your head has to turn that way.
Yeah.
And when you're playing a part, or when you're alternating a part, you're on again and again and again, and you make the mistakes, you can get that. But it's hard. It made me really be like, I do feel for like whenever you're second covering or third covering or whatever, covering like a big part like that. And you're not doing like a lot of cover rehearsals. Like we didn't really do in the first contract. We did, to be fair, we've done some cover runs, but in the second, like you're not really doing it that much. So it really is your responsibility to you just find yourself like in the wings on a random night, like just watching Out of Hell, just walking through it in your head, just like walking through your head, because you're like, you could be on tomorrow. So it's just that number. And I think with the Meatloaf, what's so funny with Meatloaf is all his songs are like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like, they're never just short songs. They're always really, really long songs.
Yeah, so we have like a funny thing at parties when one is saying, okay, last song for tonight, and I'm always like, we should do Meatloaf. Because like then you can party on 10 minutes longer than everybody else.
100%. Yeah. These songs are so long, honestly, so long. Amazing though. The songs are amazing.
It was weird to see Battle of Hell in Düsseldorf, because it's like, it's Düsseldorf. I mean, shitty place to be in Germany. Really sorry that you had to go to Düsseldorf. And I think it was it was Christmas, New Year's, and after that, it was directly going to the arena.
We came home, so we finished in Dusseldorf, I think on like the 6th of January. Or am I making that up? Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe we were there till later in January, actually.
No, I think it was like pretty early in January.
Was it? And then we came back and we had a couple of days off, and then we were in Plymouth. So we went down to Plymouth.
Okay.
And we rehearsed in like these big studios because obviously we had all the arena set. So we rehearsed in these big studios in Plymouth for 2 weeks, for a week and a half. And then like the director came and just changed loads. So we were like, And then we literally had 2 days off after Plymouth, and then we flew to Australia. It was like so crazy. It was so crazy. Like we were all so tired. But what was good in Australia is like you'd get to one place, so you'd get to Perth, and then we would have like 2.5 days off, and then you'd have one show. So we like once we got to Australia, everyone was like, we were
a lot of free time now.
Yeah. But then equally, like, done Australia, and by the time we got back to the West End, like, I remember when we were sound checking in the Peacock for our opening night, I was like, what is going on? Like, we've literally gone from Dusseldorf to Plymouth, from Plymouth to Australia, from Australia to Peacock. And I was like, at least now we're home, and we're like, we're here for I think we were there for like 6 or 7 weeks. But yeah, have I just wandered off the question there? What was the actual question?
I think that was the question, yeah. But can you tell me, I want to know, what are the differences from playing in the Capitol Theatre in Düsseldorf to playing in the Peacock in the West End? Since I'm from Germany, but I'm always in the West End watching shows. I know West End shows better than shows here in Germany. What is it for you, like a performer doing a show there and compared to a show in the West End, especially like Düsseldorf and Peacock?
Yeah, I would say like the difference was like Dusseldorf was lovely, but the audience, it was quite small audiences. We didn't have that many audience, so it was quite quiet crowds we played to. Like the matinees were really, really quiet. The Peacock.
I had to work. I'm sorry, I had to work. I would have been there, but I had to work. And
But what's good in the Peacock is that you've always, when you're in London, you've always got exciting people come to watch in terms of like industry people. So my agent, for example, his office was just around the corner from the Peacock, so he could just say like on a Tuesday, like, oh, I'm going to bring so and so from this office or this casting director because it's just down the road. So we'll get tickets, and for my Strat shows, I could invite. Like I said before, I can invite all my friends, my family, but also you can invite people, like you can invite casting directors, or you've also got other people's agents in. So if you were looking to move agency or things like that. So I'd say it's probably that. And the London crowds as well, all the Bat fans always come together in London as well. So the support from like the Bat fans was just amazing. It was
crazy.
Something that I never really knew was going to happen when I'd never done like, I don't want to say a cult musical, but like, you know, like a musical with a big following. And the fans, even to this day, like are still so dedicated, still check up on us, still follow what we do, still support. So that's another massive thing about London. Like the last show in London was just it was really electric, and like stage door had like a giant queue down all the way down to the bottom. It was just feeling
stage door was like really wild.
It was crazy. It was so crazy, but I loved it. It's just a shame because sometimes you want to take time to see everyone that's come to see, but then there were so many people, so I was like, so yeah, that's probably it. Like the audiences, and then the exposure to other creatives around.
Yeah, I'm just missing the show. Yeah, I still think about like at the last show, Rob said, "Yeah, Bat will be back," and the Bat fans are still waiting.
I know. Do you know what? We've never actually had any information on it either. So I imagine if it comes back, it'll be a new cast again. Maybe in some sort of different form, but I think it's a show that a lot of people love, so I don't see why they wouldn't bring it back. But maybe they'll wait a bit and maybe repeat a tour that they've done or something like this.
Yeah, I think they are going with a tour. It's not just like it's a feeling. No idea.
Well, that first tour we done, like when they toured around the UK, it was like we were sold out all the time. Like when we came up to like Scotland and Newcastle and stuff like that, like it was just sold out completely. People love Meatloaf up north. Like people love him.
Yeah. Let's see. But if you had the chance to audition for it again, would you do it?
I don't know. Do you know what it is? I loved my time on the show, but I'd done it for
Yeah.
so long.
Absolutely.
I don't really know what I would creatively get out of going back to it because I've already done it. If it was for like a one night concert or something.
Oh my
like,
gosh. Andrew said the same thing.
Oh, did he? Did he? Yeah, if it was just something like that, like, yeah, I probably would. But like, yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah.
The show's such hard work. And I just think, yeah, I don't think there's anything I would gain from it that I didn't gain from it this time, if that makes sense, creatively.
Absolutely. We need like a one night Battle of Hell reunion with everyone
That would be
who's
amazing.
willing to go back on stage.
That would be amazing. Yeah, something like that would be super cool. It would sell as well, to be fair. It would sell.
Absolutely, I'm sure. Yeah. Press,
Yeah,
please don't forget to invite me if you're doing this. We got a nice idea for you. I really wanted to talk with you more about the concerts you did, especially the Meatloaf ones. Did you get the contract because you've been in Battle of Hell? Or is there... Yeah, I don't know how the audition process is there.
So it's kind of... it's like a strange one. So everyone kind of knows everyone. So I knew Ben Perkis, and I knew he was doing them. So I actually got submitted to audition. So I self-taped for them. But Simon Gordon, who... I'm guessing you know Simon Gordon. He was original backcast as well. I'm not sure if you know him. He was one of the alternate track.
I have no idea about the original cast. I just...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just know Andrew.
He alternated when Andrew was Strat. So, but him and the whole team who set it up, they had come to see us in Australia. So they watched that in Australia. So I did audition for it. Yeah, I did audition for it, but he had seen me in Australia. I remember him saying something like that, like we saw you in Australia. So I think maybe that kind of helped because they'd seen me perform on stage. But it's a great thing because they've set up a great company and have used all their talented friends that they know. Like, so the people who I've done them with, like Georgia and Patrick, and they're all like past backcasts. They're not all past backcasts, but some of them are. They're all like mega talented people. So they've kind of been like, here's this idea we've got, and we're going to get loads of people we've worked with and know, and like, they're amazing. The concerts are so amazing. Like some of the vocals from the concerts are so good. So yeah, no, I did audition for it, but they had seen us in Bat, so I don't know if that
it maybe helped.
Yeah, maybe helped. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Will be a secret forever. Okay, I have a last game. Yeah,
amazing.
And it's called The Weird Facts, because I have some weird facts that I found out about you.
Oh gosh,
and it's all in the internet. It's not much. I will tell you the weird fact, and you will tell me something about that. Okay?
Okay.
The first one is you all did a Battle of Hell Halloween party in Scotland 2021, and you dressed up as Clyde from Bonnie and Clyde. Is that true?
Yes, I did. Yes, with Beck, who I was telling you about. She was cover over my best mate, so she done Bonnie and I done Clyde, and we didn't win, and we were really angry about that.
Oh, you had like a costume contest?
Yeah, it was a costume contest, and we really put loads of effort into it. Bonnie and Clyde's like my favourite as well. It's my favourite musical, and I love it. But
who won?
It was actually someone on it was Ellie and Ben, I think. They were our stage management team, and they dressed as... this might be wrong. I think they dressed as Shrek and Fiona. And like we were like, we really want to win. And then James Good, who played Jaguar, he dressed as Missy Elliott. It was like amazing. Like he dressed as Missy Elliott, and we were like,
wow,
he's gonna win. And then he didn't, and they won, and we were like, "You win." But no, their costume was great too. But we were like,
yeah. And what was the weirdest costume on that day?
Let me try and think. Who were people dressed as?
Yeah, it's so long ago, but I just saw the image and was like, a Battle of Hell Halloween party. I love this.
I think someone was dressed as a baby. Someone dressed as a baby. I think someone might have been dressed as a baby. I'm just trying to actually picture everyone. People had quite cool costumes, so I'm trying to think what the weirdest one was. Like, what was the strangest costume? I feel like someone was dressed as a baby.
I love that.
Yeah,
we need a group picture.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look. There's definitely pictures from that night.
Yeah, of course. Have you done a Halloween party the years after that too, or was it like the only Halloween party?
Why were we for Halloween the second time? No, so my timeline is so messed up. So
Yeah, mine too.
that was our first year. So we only just started actually when we done that Halloween party. So we done Manchester, Oxford, and then we had the Halloween party in Glasgow. So our following year we would have been still in the first car, just about to change. So we were in like Woking.
Yeah.
Did we have a Halloween party? No, do you know
I don't
what?
know.
I think I think what some of us done, because we were in Woking, I think we got on the train and we went back into London, and we maybe went out in central London because it was coming to the end of our contract. It was like right at the end of the contract. So I think people were kind of like sleepy. So no, I don't think we did in the second year. God, my memory's getting so bad. Like there's some questions that I need to look up once I get off this call. I'm going to be like, I need to refresh it.
Okay, the next weird fact is you and the cast did something called the Bad Bufters.
Oh yeah.
I think I might know what it is, but please explain to the audiences listening.
Yeah, so it's kind of what it sounds like, but it was in the cast change. So we have had them twice. I don't know if they were called the Bat BAFTAs both times, but in our first cast we had Bex and Jamie Jukes. They put together it was like these awards, but they were just really funny because like some of them were a bit shady, some of them were funny, some of them were like light-hearted. Like half the cast were leaving then, so it was kind of like it was just really funny. And then we done ones in the second cast. The second time round, it was a bit more like innocent fun. It was kind of like best dressed and like most consistent performer and funniest person.
The funniest, yeah.
Yeah, it was like that kind of thing. But the first contract ones were really funny. Like I couldn't even tell you what they were, but it would be like they picked like best couple, and then they'd like put two people that were. It was just like really, really, really funny. Like just for everyone to laugh at. But yeah, so that's kind of what it was. It was just awards. It was just like an awards night. But yeah, they were funny nights for sure.
Can you remember what did you win?
In the first contract, I won best allergies or worst allergies. Yeah, but I like always was going around backstage. Like I always had like allergy spray, and I was always like, I was like my allergies, because we were touring. My allergies, so I won like worst allergies.
I love it.
The second time round, I don't think I won anything. The second time round.
Aww.
I think I walked away empty-handed. I know, yeah, sad times.
Oh, I really want to see that categories now when best allergy is on that.
There were so many funny ones, but I can't remember. What other ones?
You all had a good laugh.
Yeah, we all had. There was best stage. There was best like stage muck up. There was best because there was a stage muck up one time that was. It was really funny if you were in the show, but like if you weren't, it like if you're in the audience, you'd probably just be like, I don't really understand. But basically, there was a scene that went into Hot Summer Nights where I always get this the wrong way around. So Ledoux and Valkyrie would run on, and Ledoux would say Strat, and then Valkyrie would say, "Is that you, Strat?" And he'd be like, "Yes, it's me." And then she'd be like, "You're not a ghost or anything, are you?" And he'd be like, "I'm not a ghost." That was, I think, how the lines went. But this one day we ran on, and I was like, I ran on and went, "Strat, is that you?" And then Glenn looked at me and went, "I'm not a ghost." He skipped, so he skipped over Valkyrie. So he went, "I'm not a ghost or anything, are you?" And then we all just went silent. And then Bex was doing Valkyrie, and Bex just went, "You're not a ghost or anything, are you?" And he was like, "I'm not a ghost or anything, are you?" And we all everyone on stage just burst out laughing. We couldn't stop laughing. But we were something so small. So like the conversation literally read like, "Strat, is that you? I'm not a ghost or anything, are you? You're not a ghost or anything, are you? I'm not a ghost." And we all Glenn started laughing. We were all everyone just started laughing on the stage.
Yeah.
So like they're the kind of so that kind of thing will come up in the awards. It'd be like best stage blooper. Yeah, there was loads of funny ones of them, props and things like that. Just so funny.
Yeah, and the next weird fact, you once met Bonnie Tyler.
Yes.
I'm jealous.
She was so amazing. So she came to our press night in Swansea. It was actually the opening night for the second cast. But no, I actually didn't know. And like Bonnie Tyler, my dad's a massive fan of Bonnie Tyler. I love Bonnie Tyler. I think she's so amazing. But me and Katie, actually, I was stood in the wings with Katie. Literally, Act 2's about to start. So Act 2 goes Heaven Can Wait into Objects. So I shouldn't have even said it to Katie. I don't know why I said it to Katie. This was like Katie's one of her first shows as well as Valkyrie. But someone came into the wings and was like, "Bonnie Tyler's here." But we used to play these games sometimes, like in the first contract and in the second contract, where you'd just be like, I'd go backstage and be like, "Guys, Cheryl Cole's in the audience today," and you'd like just try and prank them and just be like, let's say like the most say like the most ridiculous person is in like
Of
maybe like
course.
Gemma Collins is in the audience today, and like see how much you could like convince the whole cast that they were. So when they first said Bonnie Tyler was in the audience, like, and then whoever it was, I can't remember, from the wings was like, look. And I looked down and was like, Bonnie Tyler's actually in the audience. So I turned to Katie and I'm like, didn't even think. And I was like, Katie, Bonnie Tyler's in the audience. And she was like, I really wish you didn't tell me that just before what object. And I was like, yeah,
Oh, shit.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I just done that. But she was like, so we were both like pacing and then went on to do object. But yeah, she came up on stage after. She was so nice. She came to like, we had like a little drinks thing after. She was so down to earth, really lovely.
Oh.
And she loved like Meatloaf and Jim Steinman and everything. Obviously, she like sung a lot of the music. But yeah, I was really starstruck. I was like, I need to get a picture with you. She was lovely. She was really, really lovely.
Yeah. Oh, what a good memory.
Uh-huh.
And the next one is you did an ad for Bose. Is that right?
For both, yeah. For these headphones I'm wearing now, actually.
Ah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I done that like 2019. I done it in South Africa. I filmed it in South Africa.
Yeah, I saw your was it on TikTok or on Instagram? You did a video about that.
Yes. I think I done one on Instagram.
This is how I.
Yeah, it was so much fun. TV's so much fun. I was only filming for like 3 days, but it was really cool. It's so different to theatre. Like when you do TV, it's very, very different. The money's also very, very different. So I loved doing that, and I actually auditioned for it on a Wednesday night. When I got the audition through, my agent said I had like quite a few auditions that week, and you go to commercial castings and they're like, you go in and there's like 100 people in the room, they look like you, but they wanted a boy with curly red hair. But I don't actually have red hair. So my hair's not actually red, my hair's brown. My
Oh.
brown. So this is where I dyed my hair red.
What is secret?
Yeah, so when we went into the audition, you had to sign a form, and they said, like, there was only me and 2 other boys there that had curly hair that wasn't red. Everyone else had red hair. So they said, would you be happy to dye your hair red for commercial? So I was like, yeah, obviously. So I went in, done the audition, but my agent rang me at like 5 a.m. the next morning and was like, you're flying to Cape Town tonight. So I had to just get ready, grab my passport, and they like sent a car to pick me up. And so I rang my mum and was like, Mum, I'm going to Cape Town tonight. And she was like, what? So it was like a really just cool experience. And then I just got on the plane. Yeah. And I was like, and I got like first class. And I thought I was so cool, like on the plane, like, and then, went over, filmed for 3 days and then came back. It was such an amazing experience.
So cool.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. That's it. And the last weird fact is it's not really weird, but you sometimes did a mid-show singing. And I was like, how do you do this while a show is on? Are you not like losing track?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think in the second contract we've done mid-show things, because by the time the second contract came, I was so in like tune with the timing. So like for Ledoux, for example, like I would do All Revved Up and Frying Pan, and then I would be off for like 25 minutes until Bat Out of Hell, because I wasn't on for any of Paradise or any of that. So I knew that I had that gap, and then I also would have the 15-minute interval. So in some venues, I think I've done quite a few mid-show things in Dusseldorf actually, because basically the way that the theatre worked, you could go up the back and then there was a big hall, like, and a big there was like a big hall and like corridors and stuff. So I just go and have a little thing there when I was bored. And I used to do it a lot with Killian, who was one of my friends from the first cast. We used to sing quite a lot. But yeah, it's just once you're in the rhythm of the show, or I would do it in the interval.
Oh yeah,
so
you still have time in the interval.
Yeah, not so much in the first contract because I'd be so stressed because Objects was coming up. But when it got into like it'd been a year and a half of doing it, I was kind of like, I was just into it. So like, I wouldn't stress that much. Yeah.
You can check that out on Instagram, on TikTok. Yeah, you survived the weird facts.
Woo!
You did it. So what's on for you in the near future?
I actually have something coming up. Like I'm not allowed to say yet, but I start rehearsals next week for a new show. But yeah, I'm not allowed to say it because it hasn't been announced yet, so I'm not actually allowed to say. But it should be announced in the next couple of weeks. So
I love that.
But so that will see me through for the rest of the year, which will be fun, and I'm looking forward to that. And then while I'm not doing that, just teaching.
How is it for you when you get a contract for a show and you're still teaching? Is it like you go there and say, oh, I have to do a show now, I can't come teach? Or
they always know, like, at the colleges I teach at, there's loads of, it's mainly performers that work there, so you just get someone to cover you and come in and take over your classes. They kind of always know that there's a chance that you could get called to do a show. I've been working in the college for like a year and a half when I got back out of hell. So like I'd seen my kids through like their first year, they were going into their second year. So that was a bit sad because I was like, oh, I'm not going to see you do your last shows. Performing is the passion. So they're really understanding though, and they always have me back, which is why I've started to try and do the Christmas show with them, because I'm normally a lot more free in Christmas time. Yeah, I try and teach them as much as I can.
Yeah, I can't wait to like hear what's next for you.
It will be soon.
Yeah, can you tell everyone where they can find you online so they can check out that brand new information?
Sure. So my Instagram is @Danny123W and my Twitter is @DannyWhelan0595. I'm not really that active on Twitter, really. I'm kind of like, I just kind of have it to view.
Yeah.
So, Instagram. And my TikTok is @DannyWhelan1995, I think, which I've just given you the wrong.
I will link down below.
Yeah.
So, Danny, thank you so much for being on the podcast, talking about how to get into acting and colleges and teaching, of course, Battle of Hell and your projects. And some final words for the audience or something you would like to share?
No, I would just say thank you so much for having me on board and taking me on a trip down memory lane. And reminding me of some fun facts that I didn't realise. Like, there's loads of good memories, I think, over those 2 years that I forget until I sit and talk back over them. So, yeah, thank you very much.
You will reactivate the Battle of Hell WhatsApp group tonight, right? So, thanks again, and see you in the next episode.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.